There is nothing controversial about wanting to prioritise British homes for British workers. In fact, I'll tell you what I think is controversial. British soldiers sleeping on the streets and British taxpayers paying the highest tax burden since World War II to subsidise people who have just arrived in this country. It's controversial that we've completely shattered the social contract in Britain. Maybe The Guardian could start with that before they carp on about a policy that, shock horror, would see a British government prioritise people who were born in Britain. So, the Tories want to look into fast-tracking British citizens into social housing. Good. In Brent, 40% of new social homes were let to foreign nationals in 2021 to 2022. 40%. Data from the Office for National Statistics shows right across the country, 19.2% of social housing occupants are foreign-born. That rises to 47.6% in London, reportedly. Why on earth are we letting so many people into this country who clearly cannot support themselves? That's a heck of a lot of brain surgeons, cardiologists and engineers who've fallen on hard times, isn't it? The Guardian think it's controversial to want to put Brits first. Well, what kind of people think mass immigration of 700,000 a year is a good thing? Well, the usual Labour or Lib Dem Guardian reading lovies, isn't it? OK, we need to build more houses. Who's blocking the planning applications? The Guardian-loving Liberal Democrats. If there's a whiff of a housing development in your local area, it's a matter of seconds before someone wearing socks, sandals and an EU beret, brandishing a yellow rosette, turns up to tell you that if you vote for them, they'll block it. They are the problem. They don't want us to put Brits first. They don't want us to reduce immigration. They don't want us to build more social housing in their local areas. Oh, no. Oh, we care about the poor, but not so much that we want them in our area. We wouldn't want to have to smell them if we were downwind from their council tower. I went to Southwark today, where 29% of social housing is going to people born abroad, to actually speak to normal people about whether they thought it was controversial to have British homes for British workers.
We're struggling in this country with homeless people. You can see outside Southwark Station there's homeless people here as well. I think our main focus should be on those that have been born here, educated here.
Any sane person looking into this country from the outside world would say the same. Indeed, this Dutch man did.
I know only the situation in Holland. People are waiting 10 years or 12 years for a social house, and other people come in the country and within a few months they have a house. So that's not fair, I think.
And obviously the uncomfortable truth, especially for certain members of the Labour Party, is that people get some kind of social housing, then their circumstances change and they just clog up the system by refusing to move out.
Social housing, it's not reviewed, so you could have a social house, find yourself in a better position, but not actually be reviewed to say, actually, you're not now eligible for this, which I think we really need to look at. Back in my earlier part of my life, I was in social housing, and it really allowed me to kind of, have that opportunity to move out of home and have that thing. So I really think it's important that actually we need to be able to offer it for everybody, but there needs to be a fair assessment with how we can do that.
Apparently the lawyers are already saying putting Brits first would fall foul of equalities law. Why is it that equalities law always seems to put the indigenous population last? The only people who think it's controversial to have a policy that would prioritise giving British people homes over people who have just arrived in this country are thick as mints, smarmy, nation-hating, virtue-signalling hypocrites whose own ridiculous ideology has caused the mess that they are now complaining about.